Today, we're going to dive into a timeless parable about a ruler who saw the world just a little differently. It's a really fascinating story about crime, justice, and the incredible potential that's hiding right where you least expect to find it. To reform a criminal, you have to commit a crime first. Now, that's a strange idea, isn't it? Kind of turns things on their head. But this exact paradoxical thought is right at the heart of our story. It really sets the stage for an emperor whose leadership style was, well, as unconventional as it was brilliant. So let's meet Emperor Shatrajit. By every measure, he was a just and compassionate king. He really treated his people like his own children. In his kingdom, nobody went hungry and no one suffered injustice. But he had a secret, a very particular method for keeping the peace.
You see, when the whole city was asleep, Emperor Shatrajit would take off his royal robes, dress up like a commoner, and just walk the streets. Disguised as a beggar or maybe a tired farmer, he would listen. He'd listen to the whispers in the alleyways and the markets, getting the true pulse of his kingdom and understanding the real problems his people were facing firsthand.
So on one of these nights, he's walking through a dark, narrow alley, and he overhears a group of men planning their next big score. He realized pretty quickly these weren't just any criminals. They were four of the city's most infamous thieves. And right then, he decided this was his chance to really get to the root of the problem.
The first thief, a guy named Fakira, was bragging about his unique gift. He claimed he could literally smell gold, silver, and jewels from a huge distance, which, made him the perfect scout for finding hidden treasure.
Then there was the second one, Chaman. He had a totally different kind of skill. He could actually understand what animals were saying. So a barking dog or a spooked horse wasn't just noise to him, it was a crystal clear warning that danger was coming. The third thief was Anga, a master locksmith. With just a thin piece of wire, this guy could defeat any lock, no matter how complex or well-made. For him, a locked door was just an invitation.
And last but not least, there was Rattan. His skill was really something else. He had a perfect photographic memory for faces, even ones he'd only seen for a split second in total darkness. No disguise could ever fool him.
So when you look at them all together, you realize this wasn't just a gang. It was a highly specialized team, a real thieves guild. You've got Fakira to find the loot, Chaman as the early warning system, Anga to handle security, and Rattan to make sure no one gets away unidentified. Together they were an absolutely formidable force. Seeing his opening, the disguised emperor walked right up to them. To earn his spot in the crew, he offered up his own skill. He claimed that if they ever got caught, a single powerful gaze from him could make a judge's sentence just vanish, saving them all from punishment. The thieves, totally intrigued by this seemingly magical power, welcomed him right into the group. And now that his place was secure, the emperor made a really bold suggestion. He said, "Why are we messing with petty theft?" He proposed a target so audacious it would set them all up for life, the royal treasury itself. Of course, blinded by greed, the thieves jumped at the chance. So as they're getting close to the palace, a dog just starts barking like crazy. Chaman listens really closely, and his face goes pale. He whispers, "The dog. It's saying the emperor is walking with us." The others just laughed it off, making fun of his dog language. They had no idea the absolute truth had just been spoken, but they were way too focused on the prize to listen. Fakira led them straight to the vault. Anga stepped up, put his thin wire into this massive, colossal lock, and with a few deft little movements, a soft, satisfying click echoed through the silent hall. The door to the entire kingdom's fortune was now wide open. The next morning, of course, the palace was in total chaos. News of this impossible robbery spread like wildfire. But while his whole court was panicking, Emperor Shatrajit just sat calmly on his throne. He knew exactly who was responsible, and within hours, the four thieves were captured and dragged before him in chains. The thieves were terrified, absolutely wondering how they got caught. But then, Rattan, he stared at the emperor's face, and that memory from the dark alley just snapped into place. In total shock, he turned to his friends and yelled that their mysterious fifth partner from the night before was none other than the emperor sitting right in front of them. And that right there, that was the story's big twist. The man they saw as a fellow criminal just looking for treasure was actually their king, and he was looking for something way more valuable, their hidden potential. He wasn't testing their criminality, he was auditing their skills. Now, the court was expecting a swift execution. I mean, that's what you do, right? But the emperor, he had a completely different kind of justice in mind. He saw their incredible talents not as tools for crime, but as assets for the entire kingdom. He chose to harness their skills instead of just punishing their actions.
So what was his plan? It was genius. He gave each of them a role that was perfectly suited to their unique ability. Fakira, the one who could smell treasure, was put in charge of the royal mines. Chaman, the animal translator, became master of the royal stables. Anga, the master locksmith, was ironically made the guardian of the treasury itself. And Ratan, the man who never forgot a face, became the new chief of palace security.
So, what's the real takeaway here? What's the point? The emperor understood that the true treasure of his kingdom wasn't the gold sitting in his vault. No, it was the untapped talent walking his streets, even in its darkest alleys.
And this really is the core idea of the whole story. True leadership isn't just about enforcing rules and punishing people. It's about perspective. It's having the wisdom to see a gift where other people just see a flaw, and the creativity to redirect that gift for the greater good. The emperor's genius really gives us a powerful framework for leadership. First, look for skills, not just flaws. He saw their talents, not their crimes. Second, a person's past doesn't define their future. The same skill that makes a great thief can make a great guardian. It's all about giving it the right direction. And third, you have to get close to a problem to really understand it. His disguise wasn't just a trick, it was a research tool. And that leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? Who around you has untapped potential? The next time you see a supposed flaw or a weird talent in someone, just ask yourself, is there a hidden strength here, just waiting for the right opportunity? Who could you empower if you just tried to see them through the eyes of the emperor?